thought you were good with money, so why are you budgeting? If you've ever thought that you had to be bad with money in order to budget, this video is for you. Hi everyone, my name is Sydney Brown and I am your budgeting expert. I help single minority women just like you create and stick to a budget so that they can live their best life on a budget. I was talking to my friend and they were asking me like generically, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing today? And I was like, budgeting. And they were like, but wait, I thought you were good with money. Why are you budgeting? And I realized in that moment that that is one of the number one misconceptions about budgeting. In order to be on a budget, a lot of people think that you're broke, you don't have any money, you're not good with money. Like, being on a budget is a bad thing. But really, being on a budget is the number one sign that you're like on your track to be a millionaire. Most millionaires have a written budget that they follow every month. So I wanted to list some of the things that a budget is not. A budget is not an alternate word for cheap. A budget is not a list of bills. A budget is not a restriction plan. A budget is a written spending plan that you create every month for how you're gonna spend your money. And notice I said spend your money. A lot of people think that when you're budgeting, it's about all the money that you're not gonna spend. No, like that's completely the opposite. Budgeting is all about spending money. So you have to decide what you want to spend your money on. A lot of times as budgeters, we spend a lot of time putting restrictions on what we're gonna spend our money on, and we meaning me too, like not just you. And so it makes you feel like, oh, this budget is against, like me and this budget are at odds. And if that's the case, you're not gonna stick to your budget and ultimately you're just gonna quit. And that's not what we want. We want to have a budget that makes sense for you and aligns with your priorities and does exactly what you want it to do. So I came up with 5 guidelines to use when creating your first budget. All right, number 1, a budget is connected to a goal. So if there's no goal attached to your budget, is it really a budget or a list of bills? Remember how I said earlier, a budget is not a list of bills? A lot of times people don't connect their dreams and their aspirations to their budget, and if there's no goal there, then it's not really where are you going. Remember I said it's a spending plan. What are you planning for? And some examples of goals include being debt free, wanting to quit your job, wanting to be able to buy new clothes in the spring, wanting to redecorate your apartment, wanting to get new appliances for your kitchen. Like, there's all kinds of goals you can come up with, but just having a goal connected to your budget is the number one guideline to creating an effective budget. Guideline number 2. Name every single dollar. So whenever you get paid, make sure that you categorize every single dollar into a category. So rent is a category, mortgage is a category, utilities is a category, even savings is a category too. But just make sure every single dollar that you get paid is attached to something that you want to do with the money. So there shouldn't be any random dollars hanging out in your checking account. There shouldn't be any like randomness happening to the money. Just you need to be very intentional about what every single dollar is intended for. So I want to go grocery shopping with this amount of money. I want to go shopping with this amount of money. I want to entertain myself with this amount of money. I want to whatever. Just categorize every single dollar with a name. Guideline number 3. Start every month with a budget. So before the month begins and you started spending money, attach a budget to that month. So let's say you get paid on the first of the month. before you spend any money from that month, make sure that you have a plan for what you're going to do with that money already in place. So if it's the middle of the month and you haven't created your budget yet, no worries. There's no need to wait until the next month to start your budget. I think the next best thing would be to start at the next paycheck with your budget, because the main reason I don't want you guys to start your budget in the middle of the month when you've already spent a bunch of money, because it's going to be really hard to figure out what you did with that money if you weren't tracking it and you had no like guideline or plan associated with that money. So I would just, if I were you, I would start your budget at the next paycheck at the latest, but ideally before the month begins. Guideline number 4. All right, so the next guideline is give yourself at least 3 months to get it right. A lot of times people create a budget and they think, oh my God, my spending habits are gonna change immediately, and that is not true. It's gonna take you at least 3 months in order to make an effective budget, because I tell everybody when I, with my clients, I tell them, this first budget is going to be as wrong as it's ever going to be. Like, you have no idea what you spend your money on at this point, and neither do I. Like, I can't tell you what you spend your money on. We can come up with a great guess, but your first budget is going to be completely wrong. The next budget should be a little bit better, and after that, your third budget should be really good. But make sure that you stick to the budget for at least 3 months. And sticking to the budget doesn't mean that you don't make any changes to your budget. I think you should make a lot of changes to your budget over those 3 months that you make your budget. But it's not going to be perfect the first time, and I don't think you should expect it to be. But by the third time, it should be pretty close. Guideline number 5. So the 5th guideline that I came up with is to write it down. So many times, people create a budget and they say, oh, I have a budget. It's in my head. Like, duh, like that's where my budget is. And that is that is not, you cannot have a budget that's in your head. Like that's not a budget. We're just gonna start there. Your budget needs to be written down, and I say that it needs to be written down because a lot of times people create a budget in their head and they make all these changes to the budget. Like, there's nothing to hold you accountable to if it's not written down. You can forget, you can say you're doing all this mental math and adjustment and whatever, but it's not a budget unless it's written down. A budget, again, is a written spending plan for how you're going to spend your money each month. So that's my method for creating a budget, but my guess is you've probably already created a budget before. So let me know in the comments below what has worked, what hasn't worked, and my guess is what you really need to know is how to stick to a budget. So I'm going to create another video about how to stick to a budget, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so you can stay tuned to the next video about sticking to a budget, but make sure that you look in the comments below, or look in the description below, to get my free guide about 5 traps every single Black woman should avoid on their financial journey. And it gives you some of my best tips for how to avoid some of what I feel like are the major pitfalls that women, single women especially, fall into around managing their money. So make sure you hit the link in the description to grab that, and I hope to see you at the next video.